All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Sports Frenzy podcast. Once you see me here on a Saturday, you already know it's, your host, Kims. And with me right now, we have Gary. We'll be joined by Dwayne in a second and Devin as well. Vincent will be out today. The infamous Porcras Jr. said he'll join the show, but, I'm not really sure if we're going to see him because, film style already. Tell a lot of lies. What? How we doing, Gary? How you doing today? See, you
Not bad.
nice
We're
past,
doing good. We're doing good. Doing good.
nice like a pastor clothes and so.
Let's
You
not
know,
come from church. When I get the
yes,
chance to change, I'm
yes,
fresh
man,
to
yes,
death,
man, yes, man, for real. So we saw a game Thursday where the Atlanta Falcons, the
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta Falcons got what? There's no other way to put it. They lost 25 zip to the New England Patriots. And, I remember when Matt Jones was being drafted, when Matt Jones was being drafted, there was a lot of talk about him, say, oh, he has the lowest ceiling. He's not good as other quarterbacks. But right now, we're looking at it. Matt Jones have more wins than all the other rookie quarterbacks combined, right? And you can say, oh, he's in the right system or because he's got to Bill Belichick, but I can say in for the quarterback world, it all depends where you go. Same thing with basketball. Same thing with
Mm-hmm.
basketball. If Steph Curry never go to Golden State and probably go to another team, he's probably not Steph Curry. So those things happen. So I just want to get your thoughts about that game, Gary. What are your thoughts about that game? And do you think that it is time for Atlanta to move in a different direction from Matt Ryan?
All right. I watched the game in spurts. I watched about three quarters of the game on Thursday night, and
Mm-hmm.
the Atlanta Falcons, as they have been a very disappointing team this season. Going back, I think since post Super Bowl, they have been from Dan Quinn days. They haven't been really
Mm-hmm.
very good. Defensive wise, they have been very poor.
Mm-hmm.
This season, I think they had some injuries. I know their running back is out, but I think Matt Ryan has really struggled this season. He has played, I think, maybe two good games so far.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he played very well against the Saints. When I looked at this team in the last two games against the Cowboys and against the Patriots on
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night, this team scored a grand total of 3 points in 8 quarters.
Yep.
Terrible, terrible.
Yep.
And I think division games, as a Saints fan, I really hope they would have played the same way they played against the Cowboys and against the Patriots. But
Mm-hmm.
division games, the teams know each other, they
Definitely.
play twice a year and they know the
Definitely.
system or whatever. So they really get up to play each other when they play twice a year. So I didn't really make much of it because I know they really play well or they raise the level when they play against the Saints. But I'm looking at Matt Ryan, and he has deteriorated significantly since the Super Bowl. Um, you can say use the excuse about the offense. I know Ridley has been been out. They didn't have the running back the last game, but I think the Kyle Pitts, it's a good offensive weapon. But when I looked at the game on Thursday night, you know what Bill
Mm-hmm.
Belichick does well. He won't make one guy beat you. So you focus on your strength and you realize they took him out of the game. They didn't have a running game on Thursday night. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and when Bill Belichick, because he's a defensive genius, when he takes away your strengths, you're
Mm-hmm.
forced to do other things. And if you don't do these other things well, you'll tend to struggle. So I think they didn't play well on Thursday, and they didn't play well against the Cowboys. And I think I'm not sure if what's their plan at quarterback, but I think they might ride with Matt Ryan a little bit more for another few years. I'm not sure what his contract situation is, but
Mm-hmm.
I think um, they might need to look into drafting a quarterback. Um,
Mm-hmm.
probably the next 2 years or so. Um, thereabout. But I think Matt Ryan has really deteriorated significantly. I don't think this team is really that good right now. defensively, they are very poor, and offensively, they have struggled a lot. Since Calvin Ridley has been injured, and they lost Julio Jones. So I don't think they will. They're not going to the playoffs this season.
Mm-hmm.
And next season, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think they have a second round pick there, but I think they have a second or third round pick in the next draft. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure what their plans are in terms of a quarterback going forward. But I don't see Matt Ryan as the future. They might want to ride him out another couple of years and look for a quarterback.
Oh, for a quarterback. All right. So, very well said by you, and you definitely made some great points. I want to get Dwayne in here. Dwayne, so Matt Ryan has never beaten the New England Patriots. His best opportunity came in the Super Bowl when he was up 28-3. He has never beaten them. I'm not sure if those that beating is still lingering inside him. When he go up against the Patriots, he always gets scared. Um, but what I want to ask you about, do you think, Dwayne, that this Patriots team can go ahead and make it to the Super Bowl?
Well, I don't think so because here's the thing with the Patriots. The type of offense that they're running now,
Hmm.
it's like it's get the lead and play good defense and field position and stuff like that. Yeah, it will work in the regular season, but when you go in the playoff and say you're down by 10 or 14 points, you can't dink and dunk your way back in the game. You gotta go. And
And I want Levon to put up the little picture for me with Matt Jones and Tom Brady, the first 10 stars, because if you remember in 2001, Tom Brady won a Super Bowl doing the same exact thing that Matt Jones is doing, right? And a thing that was synonymous to the team was that and here we have it, right? So the first 10 starts, if
right,
you guys can see it, right? Tom Brady
Mhm.
was 7-3, Matt Jones was 6-4, right? The completion percentage, Matt Jones leading there. The passing yards, Matt Jones leading there.
right.
They have the same interceptions, but Tom Brady had more
Mhm.
touchdowns.
Yeah,
And the
touchdowns.
passing rating is
It's
really the
almost the
same.
same. It's really the
Yeah.
same. It's exactly
All right.
point
Yeah,
one
yeah,
point.
yeah. But one thing that is absolutely similar to these teams are every team that Bill Belichick has won a Super Bowl with, they have always been a top five defense. Always been a top five defense. So Dwayne, when you're telling me that they'll go down 10 points, 14 points, I don't know. Probably you're going to say Matt Jones going to turn over the ball because that's the only way. But I
Hold
don't see a team. I don't see a team shooting out, leading by
on.
14 points.
The difference between Matt Jones and Tom Brady is the type of offense that we have in the league. When Tom Brady just came in the league,
Uh huh.
you know that defenders could do a lot more things to stop an offense, right?
Yes.
But right now, you can't even blow on a wide receiver. You can't even sneeze on a quarterback.
Yeah.
It has changed. So you got to look at the thing in to how the league is playing today.
All
And
right.
teams,
Mm-hmm.
how many good team has Matt Jones beaten? Most of the This is the first time that he has beaten a quarterback that you said would have had a little pedigree. And we all know that Matt Ryan has still not got Super Bowl.
But Dwayne, like I can't make a getaway with that, because if we take and I just want to big up everybody in the comment section. I see Michelle there, I see Highgate from St. Mary, and I see Pepe Paul. So big up everyone and everybody who is listening and not commenting, or who's watching and not commenting as well, right? But Dwayne, I can't make a getaway with that because um, one, we always have to play who is in front of us. And if you take a look at it, right, they were supposed to beat Dallas. It wasn't their, it wasn't Matt Jones. It wasn't Matt Jones' fault why they lost. When they played against Tampa, they were supposed to beat Tampa too, and the kicker missed the field goal to go
Mhm.
ahead and let them win that game.
Hold,
So
hold on. Did you watch the Dallas Pats game?
I did.
And Dallas gave Dallas gave them so many opportunities. New England wasn't on the same level as Dallas that game, bro. It
Yeah, but
just
yeah,
it was just Dallas making a lot of mistakes, and then there's some way.
no,
Look. After Matt Jones had that pick six, what happened?
yeah. Tell
They
me no.
the receiver should have picked off that pass and
No,
both
no,
and
no,
they
no, no. All
just
right.
like
No.
I'm gonna take
Oh,
you're gonna take this, and then the guy came in and grabbed the ball.
no. All right. So,
Which
Dwayne, you're telling me,
they
Dwayne, yeah.
in
Hold
every
on, the Dwayne.
six
Hold on 1 second. Hold
that
on 1 second, Dwayne. Hold on
Dallas
1 second,
won the
Dwayne.
game easily.
Well, what I'm saying, is that so if you're in a Super Bowl plane and the opposition is making mistakes, like how is that Matt Jones' fault? How is that the Patriots' fault? I believe that the Patriots' defense was one of the reasons why Dallas were making those mistakes. I don't think all of Dallas' mistakes were self-inflicted. I think the Patriots were doing some stuff, changing up the schemes, to make them make the mistakes. And Wally West is saying that um, that was the case for Brady's last ring at Pats. I think he's talking about the mistake. I guess he's talking about quarterbacks making mistake because even when you look at all of the Super Bowls that Brady played, all right, 28-3, right? I'm gonna go back to the Atlanta Falcons game in the Super Bowl, right? The Falcons could have sealed it. They were at the 20 something yard line, and either Matt Ryan took a sack, and
Yeah,
instead of kicking the field goal, they had to punt. You
yeah,
know,
that field goal range. I remember that Super Bowl vividly.
yeah, yeah. So,
Mhm.
so so when you come on to that, like those things happen in the game, and here's Shem Jackson, happy birthday, Levon, Sports Frenzy residence host, and big up everybody in the comment section. Um, but we're definitely going to move on from that, and what I want to talk about
What
the MVP race.
then, Ken? So
Huh? Hold on.
are,
Go ahead.
are you going with the Patriots? You go,
So all right. So my thing is right now I'm going to wait for the next couple of weeks because the
Brutal
Patriots have
shot.
the
The
Bills to
Bills,
play the
the
Bills to play
Titans,
2 times, the
and the
Titans and the
Titans.
Colts
yeah.
Could have a
and the
touch.
Colts. So the next 4 weeks will tell me a lot about not only the Patriots defense, but it will tell me about Matt Jones temperament and what he can do for this offense, right? Levon, if you can go ahead and put up the odds for me for the MVP because I want to talk about the MVP and I want to get these guys, views and what they think about who's going to win the MVP or who they have, favorite for the MVP. And I could go ahead and start with you, Gary. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I've not really sat and thought about it. I had a front runner, but
Mhm.
to be honest, this season is a season where I've really seen the MVP race kind of a bit muddled
And
more than
and and I
fully
don't
here.
what give me 1 second again, and I don't mean to cut you, right? But here
Okay.
we go, right? Here's the full MVP leaderboard, and obviously, they have Tom Brady leading right
Yeah.
now. Why? Because obviously he is almost 50 years old, and he's
Yeah,
still
I'm
doing
pro
it at
football focused. I think
yes.
grades in,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
them.
And he's still doing it at a high level. I mean, he had a terrible game against Washington, but guess what? Kyler Murray hasn't been there. Dak Prescott had a bad
Hmm.
game against Denver. Lamar
Hmm.
Jackson, we don't know what he's doing. Josh Allen, he's been up and down. And then we have Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the voters will want to vote for Aaron Rodgers because he deceived the media. So I believe that is going to be
Yeah.
an asterisk against him. Cooper Cup, the Rams offense has been so terrible. And then, they have Jonathan Taylor. The Colts are what, 5-5 right now. I don't think he has a
Also, Matt.
chance.
Also, Matt Stafford has dropped out of the
Yeah,
race.
yeah, Matthew Stafford have dropped out
Because
of the top
I
eight.
was, oh, he has dropped out. Because looking
Yes.
at it, I think he still leads. I would have to check because before the last game, I think he was leading QBR um in the league. I think he has thrown 4 picks in the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the offense wasn't really. the Rams offense has sputtered a bit in the last 2 games because he really didn't play well in the last two games. They were really
Yes.
screwed
Oh.
by the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
And the game before that, he was against the Titans. He threw a pick, or almost
Pick
a pick six.
six. You
A
throw. You
funny
threw a pick
looking, I don't
six
know.
and then almost a
And
pick
then another,
six.
yeah. So it was almost similar to the game before. The 2 picks
Yes.
were so he had a very bad stretch of the last 2 games. So I'm not sure what his quarterback rating was after those 2 games. I'd have to check, but I know Kyler Murray has been injured. He wasn't playing the last 2 games. He was right up there. Tom Brady lost against against Washington football team
Mm-hmm.
the last game. Dak has came back, but you know, he had a bad game the game before this where he stunk up the joint. I can't remember the team that he played, and then he came back and beat down on the Falcons. So, and then we know the Ravens the last 2 games they weren't so impressive, and also
Mm-hmm.
Lamar didn't look so wonderful. So the MVP race this season really there hasn't been a clear cut head and shoulders
Yeah.
player above everybody else this season. It's kind of, 1 week a team might be, a player might be
Yeah.
here and then they come back down to earth. So I really think the MVP race this season has been really, week to week fluctuating between
Exactly.
the quarterbacks or the players that are in the mix. But right now I don't know. I would have to really look. I know Aaron Rodgers, you had mentioned him deceiving the media. I don't know if that might be a consideration for
Mm-hmm.
for them not to really vote. But if we're going on the field, I know his QBR this season compared to
Mm-hmm.
his MVP season last year has really been not so wonderful. I think he's about 14. He's in the middle of the pack, 240 something yards per game. I think they were looking at the stats this week on one of the shows, I think Undisputed, where they were talking about his stats in terms of yards per game, touchdown
Mm-hmm.
interception ratio, and also his QBR. Coming from his
Mm-hmm.
MVP season last year, as
Mm-hmm.
is really it has dipped significantly. So
Yep.
if you want to look at the Packers record,
Mm-hmm.
8-2 and say, all right, how they looked against the Chiefs with Jordan Love and him coming back in the lineup now. And
Mm-hmm.
even though they had a shutout against the Seahawks, he wasn't up to the usual Aaron Rodgers standard. But you might say if Jordan Love was still there, they might, would have lost that game. So
Mm-hmm.
you can look at him not having that, impressive season, but still making the impact that he usually does on the team and
Mm-hmm.
consider that as really an MVP type caliber player, even though he's not putting up the same. So I probably would edge Rogers right now and
Probably
maybe
the Rogers.
Brady a close second. But
All right.
I am not. I would reserve the MVP you know determination are really being solid on that MVP decision. Probably until the next 2 or 3 weeks, probably week 13 thereabout.
All right, no problem. And I see Latoya is saying that, good night panelists, I'm here learning, Latoya, and if you have any possible questions that, you want to ask any of us, we'll definitely, answer them for you. So, because we know that, NFL is not really, as popular. I know when the Super Bowl come in, all the ladies want to, watch it for the commercials. They want to see Justin Bieber take off his shirt and, all those kind of stuff. So, we
Yeah.
want you guys to have some knowledge about the football as well, so that you can have some discussions about it. So Dwayne, so MVP, right, is the most valuable player, right? So for me, you know, valuable can be very subjective, because you can say, okay, Kyler Murray didn't play a game against the 49ers. The 49ers still won. But then when they run up against another team, then they lost.
No, they
So then, huh?
they beat the 49ers.
Yeah, no, they beat the 49ers, and then the
They,
following week after,
they
they
lost. They
lost.
lost to. I can't remember who they lost to. I
Yeah,
think
they
this.
lost to,
Yeah,
yeah, they lost to,
recently this weekend. They
yeah,
lost
they lost
to.
this weekend.
Yeah, I don't remember who they
All right.
lost to.
Then
I
when
know
you
that.
look at when you look at Tom Brady, right? I believe, Tom Brady is the example of, the richer getting, the rich getting richer. He's in a team that is totally stacked.
Look,
Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, you would name it, right? So then I'm saying, how valuable is he really? Can I put another quarterback in that situation and can they flourish just as good, with these weapons? I'll say, of course. When you look at Dak Prescott now, I'm saying, boy, Dak Prescott, he has a lot of weapons. CD Lamb, Amari Cooper. He has all those persons as well. But when I look at Aaron Rodgers, missing his three best receivers now, he still went to Arizona, who was the best team, to so Wally say they lost to Cam. Yeah, so the
Yeah, the
Arizona
Panthers.
Cardinals
Yes, yes, yes.
lost to the
When he,
Panthers, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
So when I
Yeah.
look at Aaron Rodgers now, it would be like Aaron Rodgers is the most valuable to me because when he's there, he steadied the ship. Would you agree with my assessment, Dwayne?
yeah, that game that they won against Cardinals
Mm-hmm.
impressed me because he, as you said, he was without his three top guys,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And he still find a way to win with some guys that we don't really know about because right now Green Bay only has one number one receiver. They don't even have a number two receiver.
Yep.
Uh, so I would say what's the guy's name that came back? I can't remember his name. He came back this season.
Oh,
Is
Scantling.
that Valdez Scantling? Or
That's
no, is the other one? Is the other
no man.
one? Came back from COVID?
Yeah, yeah, that guy.
No. I know Devontae had COVID, but there's a second. What was
There's
that?
another guy.
Yeah, there's another receiver. I can't remember his name right
I
now.
was telling you, he was with the team before, and then he left and came back this
Oh,
season.
Randall Cobb.
Oh, Randall Cobb.
Yep.
Is Cobb talking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he could
Yeah,
be
man,
a,
Randall Cobb.
but he has passed his best. He's not really that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying without Aaron Rodgers, I don't think this team would be over 500. They have a good defense, yes, but we see the backup. What's
Mm-hmm.
Love? When he
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
that
Yep.
dude ain't ready. He doesn't look the same. He doesn't look the part. And I will have Dak Prescott second because
Okay.
Dak they had all these weapons last year when Dak was out, and they didn't make the playoffs in the worst
Yeah.
division in history. Since I've been watching the NFL, I've never seen a division worse than the NFC.
No,
Least,
hold on the doing, hold on. No, Wally, you're saying Kyler Murray and D Hop did not play in the Packers game. No,
yeah,
Wally. They did. Kyler Murray did play. Remember, say Kyler Murray throw the pick. At the last play of the game, Kyler Murray threw the pick. But D Hop
That's the
was
game
hurt
before
that
the last one.
D Hop was hurt that game, but he was in and out of the
Yeah,
lineup.
that
So
was,
D Hop
yeah,
was
man. That was,
hurt. But Kyler Murray did indeed play, Wally. Kyler Murray and D Hop didn't play against the 49ers and they didn't play against your Cam Newton
Panthers.
team.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the last game. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he played that week.
They're doing. So you're saying that you have Aaron Rodgers to win the MVP?
yeah, followed by Dak Prescott.
Followed
The
by Dak
first
Prescott.
day Dak had that weapon, but they had the weapons last year, and they were below 500, and they couldn't even win the NFC least last year. So you got to give Dak his due. I'm not really a big Dak Prescott fan, but when I look at him, he's like the heart and soul of that team, and when he's not there, even
Mm-hmm.
on a game this year, without him, but he has only had one bad game this season, which every
Yep.
coach in the league has had at least one. Some has had two.
Yep.
Aaron
Yep.
Rodgers cut the joint in the first game against the
Yep.
Aints.
Against the Saints. Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely did that.
Like, okay,
No. So because what I was saying was that for Dak Prescott, we're gonna have this conversation at some point in time when we have a full cast here, because I remember before Dak Prescott got paid, a lot of persons were saying that he doesn't deserve 40 million and so, but looking at Obviously hindsight is 2020. So now looking at Dak Prescott, I believe he definitely deserved that money. Shem is asking why she can't see you doing. Shem is saying that she wants to see a handsome face, so she want you, she want you to come and she want to
Hotel
see a
is not
nice,
right.
and she want to see a nice haircut and so.
Yeah, cut.
Well,
I mean, cut me here, myself. No, nice.
I guess she said nice as well. But Wally's saying that if that is the reason, why Ona never have King Henry for MVP last season? Well, again, King Henry did get some MVP votes, right? He
Consideration.
did
Yeah,
indeed
he
get
did.
some. He did get some votes as well.
He
He
did. He
got
did.
some. Yeah, he did get some votes as well. But
He wasn't. He
um,
would have been in my MVP conversation for
But,
this
but,
season.
but, but Kems, not to
hmm,
cut it, but typically, we know the NFL is a quarterback driven league
yeah,
because the
yep,
position is this flamboyant. And
yep,
and, I, and the last running back to win MVP was Adrian Peterson, I think in 2012 when he had that magnificent 2000. He came just short of I think Eric Dickerson's record. I don't remember 2100. I don't remember what it was, but he
Yeah.
came close to it. So typically, we know that the NFL is really about the quarterback position. A running back really, for him to get that consideration or probably even to win it, he might, if he wasn't injured, he might would have to
yeah,
break the record,
yep,
the all-time rushing record. Because
yep,
typically we know that the running backs really
yeah,
don't really get that hype and that it's not
yeah,
it's not a
yeah,
running back driven league. He really had,
yeah.
so he breaks the record in this pass happy era of the game, and he has to just do the whole totalness of the Titans offense would have to be around him and him breaking the record for
Yeah,
him to really
because
even win it.
also,
I don't see them getting
also,
it.
also in Gary, you look
Mm-hmm.
at this, and Wally, you have to notice this award is very subjective.
Yeah,
If you
true.
look, who gets the most money on the team? The quarterback.
Quarterback.
Who gets
Who is
most
probably the
who
best? Mm-hmm.
who gets most protected? The quarterback.
Quarterback.
So the NFL tries to push a particular narrative that
Yeah.
the quarterback
Mm-hmm.
is basically the captain of the ship.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
while
Kems, sorry, now for cutting another thing too, and I noticed this, and
yeah,
we are sometimes guilty of it too. You see, when the team wins, it's focused around the quarterback. All right. And you notice
yeah,
we say quarterback wins, or we will say, all right, when the team wins, it's the quarterback gets most of the credit, if not all the credit. Sometimes when the team loses, you hear that maybe the defense didn't step up. And sometimes in the victories that the quarterback probably do a fourth quarter drive, the defense really played outstanding, had some picks they sacked the opposing quarterback a lot, because even last season in, I think it was the Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay defense was outstanding, but Tom Brady gets
mm-hmm,
a lot of the credit because their
mm-hmm.
defense was immaculate during the last half of the season and during that stretch. So I think the quarterback position really is, when it comes to wins, we give them too much credit at times, and when it comes to losses, sometimes they will get, the fair share of the blame. But
Uh,
sometimes the
and here
conversation is not really balanced. I
that is
realize.
true. And Wally's saying, but that don't make it right. Better them call it most valuable QB. All right, what you have to understand, Wally. Okay, so for example, last year the Green Bay Packers were 13-3, right? And the Titans were 11-5, right? So that is one thing, right? So obviously Green Bay record better. So now I'm looking at and I'm saying, well, if I take Aaron, remember most valuable player. If I take
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers off this team, can this team win 13 games?
Hell no.
I don't think so. But let us
Mm-hmm.
say we take Derrick Henry. All right, so let's say we take Aaron Rodgers off of Green Bay and we put a Ryan Tannehill. You think they're winning 13 games? Absolutely not.
No, they
But
won't
let's
take
say
it.
let's say I take a let's say I take a what you call it? I take a Aaron Jones and put him on the Titans. I can see them winning around 10, 11 games because why? Look at the Titans division. They played against a sorry they played against a sorry Houston team. No
Houston.
Deshaun Watson,
Jack,
no Deshaun
Mm-hmm.
Watson. Huh? Jacksonville,
Jack.
no Trevor
And the
Lawrence.
Colts, that division is not so hot. It's our AFC South. They kind of
Yeah.
not
Yes,
really a very
and
great
see
division.
Michelle here, telling us a running back not going to win it. Quarterback is the star. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
A
It's about
running,
this.
a running back has to do something, monumental, something that has never ever 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 been done before for them to
Just
even get the
consider.
consideration. Yeah, not even get the award, just to get the
Consider.
consideration. But we're going to move on. And if Levon can be so, I know it's his birthday. I mean, I pressure him a whole lot, but I want to put some context in the thing. So I want to talk about the Cowboys and the Chiefs game coming up, because that is the game of the week. That is the Sunday
Mm-hmm.
afternoon game. It will be on Fox, right? So I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to put up the comparisons from Levon with Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes, right? And let's just take a look at it. So Patrick Mahomes' career passing rating is hold on, is 106.3, right? That is his career, right? And Dak Prescott's career 2021 passing rating is 110.8. So just to give you guys, yeah, it is gross injustice. I definitely agree with you, Wally. And just to go ahead and give you guys a bit of context to this, what is the passer rating? So the passing rating, it has to do with the attempts, the completions, the yards, the touchdowns, and the interceptions. So that's how you calculate the passing rating, and it's calculated between 1 to 158.3. So, Dak Prescott right now is 110.8, which leads the NFL, and Patrick Mahomes is 106.3, which is the highest in NFL history. Right? Obviously, he hasn't played as long as Aaron Rodgers. He's playing for what now? 3, 4 years. So probably that passer rating will drop, especially like how he's going on and throwing some more interceptions. Shem say, Kims, you're gonna lead slides and all your thing shot. I'm definitely trying, Shem. We're trying to just provide some context, for you, the viewers, for anybody who to just run across it on YouTube, so them can match up to what we're saying. Because sometimes we talk and everybody's we're just like we're talk blind. So I want to just put a visual to it, because most persons are indeed visual learners. All right. So with that being said, uh, Dwayne, who do you see winning this game
Well,
between Dallas and Kansas City?
I picked the Dallas Cowboy to win this game because I think the Dallas Cowboy, even though Mahomes is a better quarterback, I think the Dallas Cowboy is a better team. But they're more balanced. They have a good running game. They have good wide receivers, and they have a good defense comparing to the Kansas City Chiefs, where
Mm-hmm.
everything is on Mahomes to deliver,
Yep.
and their
Yep.
defense awful. So I have the Dallas Cowboy to win this game. I would say it's going to be a high scoring game. So I would say Dallas Cowboy to win this game with by a field goal 34-31. It should be an excellent
Okay.
game. Even though it is in Kansas City, I don't know what the weather would be like because like full disclosure, my company is in Missouri, which is not too
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City. So I know, especially at this time of the year, the wind can be very tricky. So if it's very windy, it favors Dallas even more because the wind won't stop that run game.
Okay. All right. So last week, we saw Patrick Mahomes and throw for over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns against the Raiders, and we know the Raiders going through a bunch of turmoil right now. Within that particular franchise. I don't think that the defense is back. No, they're going up against Dallas, who just wipe the floor with Atlanta. But I don't think those two teams are measuring sticks that we can use and say, hey, you know
Mhm.
what? you know, I like this Dallas team because of what they did against Atlanta, or I like this Chiefs team because of what they did against the Raiders. Over the totality of time, Gary, and as Wally saying that we need to talk about Cam. We're going to Cam next, Wally. But let us look at the totality, right? Let us look at the totality. Gary, do you see
Mhm.
Dallas winning this game, or do you see the Chiefs? Do you think that Patrick Mahomes got his swagger back and ready to go?
Um, I think he has a little bit of that swagger back, to be honest. Um, they said nothing, cures a bad. team or mask issues like a victory or a win in any sport, because a win is a win, because you can have a team that doesn't play well but they still find ways to win, and that's what the Kansas City Chiefs have been doing over the last few games. I remember they were about 3-5 or 3-4 a few weeks ago. They won against the Raiders. I think they beat before that. Can't remember if it was the
No, they beat Green Bay before that.
Oh yeah,
With
they
the
beat
Green Bay.
Green Bay with Jordan Love. Yeah, so they have gotten a few victories under their belt. Didn't play very well even in the Green Bay game, because they won by 3 points over
No, they
Aaron
won
Rodgers.
by no, they won by
I think
six.
it's
They
three
won by
points or
six.
six.
By six.
But it was a close
13-7.
game though. It was a close game.
13-7. Yeah.
13-7. Okay, but it was a
Yeah.
very close game, because I think it was about a 3 point game or so in the fourth quarter. But it was a very close game. So, and he didn't play particularly well in that game, because the defense really held them to under 20 points. The
Yep.
last game against the Raiders, they really blew the top off. I think Derek Carr didn't play a very good game. Made some very, very bad mistakes. There were some turnovers that really assisted the Chiefs. So I think the Chiefs have a bit of a momentum. But the last few teams they played were defensively. I think they are playing a very, very good team in the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
No, they are the Dallas Cowboys have I think it's a top 10 defense. I'm not sure where they are in scoring. I didn't get to do the research, but I know they have a very good defense. The running game, we all know what they are capable of with Ezekiel Elliott and the weapons they have in CD Lamb and Amari Cooper. But I think Amari Cooper is out. I think he's out with COVID. And the last time I checked, I saw something saying that he's out. So I don't think
so
he's out, right? Yeah, I don't
report
think
now.
he'll be playing. So that will allow secondary receivers to step up. Dalton Schultz has been very good at the tight end position for them. What I think they need to do to win this game is really take the ball and run it down the
Yep.
Kansas City Chiefs' throat. It will be interesting to see how Kansas City approach this game, because Patrick Mahomes has been a little bit more disciplined in terms of down the field passes, because the teams really had were pressing back, opening up their safeties and allowing him to take yards between the numbers or in the numbers, trying to daring him to say, all right, 8-10 yards. They're explosive offense that really like to go over the top, and he has been forcing it a lot, and that really caused a lot of the interceptions over the last few games. And I think I'm seeing something where his temperament has changed a little bit, where he's more disciplined in terms of not trying to force it. So I want to see how he will play this against his defense, because they have a very good
But look at this gear,
secondary
right?
team.
But look at this gear, right? So even though him kind of calm down and kind of be more disciplined, you still see that he's taking those big shots down the field.
He does. He does take
One
them
of those,
occasionally.
and what I'm worried about. So the Dallas Cowboys defense is ranked number 9 in the NFL,
He's
right?
nice.
But
Yeah, tough.
yes, but what I'm afraid of, because Tyreek Hill will be matched up against Trayvon Diggs, right? And
Biggs,
if you
yes.
watch Trayvon Diggs, he like to cut routes. So I'm like for undercut, and sometimes him get
Jump
burned
the
over
route.
the
They
top.
jump the route.
Yeah.
You
He
know,
does that.
and sometimes him get burned. And I don't
He
think
will. He
Tyreek
will.
Hill.
He,
Yeah, I don't think Tyreek Hill is the person to do that against, right? Because if you notice, everyone has been playing 2 deep safeties.
safeties.
And and for the persons who are watching who don't know what safeties are, let me see how I could explain it the best. They're basically, let me try to use a football analogy, or somebody could understand. So they're basically like your center back, or your stopper, Would I say you're basically like your stopper?
Yeah.
So your stopper is supposed to always be free. So those safeties are always free. So when you try to go over the top, they will be the one who come in and help out the cornerbacks. That's how I can explain the safety. So, but the Raiders, they didn't play 2 high safeties. They play one. they play only one, and then you see how they got burned for obviously 400 and odd yards and so. So, for me personally, I'm picking Dallas to win this game. Why? Because I think the Dallas offense is better. One, I think the Dallas defense is better. Two, I think the Dallas running game is better. Three, however, Kansas City has the better coach. So I believe who. So two things: who makes the least amount of mistakes. That is one, and who does something special. Who do a little trick play on fourth down when they want to punt. They probably go for it on fourth down. Stuff like that. I believe can determine this game. All right,
This is
so
their toughest test yet.
yeah,
Because
definitely.
they played a Green
Both
Bay.
teams.
Because before that, Kims,
Yes.
before the Green Bay Packers game, remember
Uh,
Kansas City Chiefs did not beat a team with a winning record this season, and they
yep.
beat Green
Green
Bay
Bay.
Packers, who has a winning record, but we know that is Jordan Love. So really and truly, they still really haven't had a real test this season where they beat
Yep.
a team with a winning record, which has a
Yep.
competent offense and a quarterback. So
For
this really
sure.
is their first true
This
test
is yeah. This
with
is the
that.
biggest
So
test.
and I really don't. If their mistakes are subsided, but as I said, they still are prone to some errors and making certain mistakes. So
Yes.
I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys still, even though they're at Arrowhead.
And I can say this is the biggest test for Dallas too, because before this
True,
they played Tampa week one and they
true.
lost,
And they
right?
lost,
After that
yes.
after that they played a lot of substandard teams,
Yeah, they
and then
had
now
true,
they're
true.
going up against the Chiefs. So we'll definitely see how it go. But Wally, I wish Wally could have joined the show and talk about his Cam Newton, because I don't really have much good things to say about this guy.
You
But
know,
we'll definitely see what happens.
his boy.
Um, uh, they just beat the Raiders. They just beat the Raiders with a winning record. Come on. All right. Come on.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on.
they beat the Raiders with a winning record.
Yeah,
That
Uh,
slipped me.
the
But
Raiders
that
started
slipped
this
me. My girl. But the Raiders were very poor in that game. Trust me.
ball.
nah,
So that
not
would
even.
be the biggest one.
I don't think the Raiders have a lot going on. I don't think the Raiders have
Yeah,
too much going
Yeah.
on. And also they have a special teams coach as the head coach right now. And going up against Andy Reid, you can't come up with a little special
Yeah,
team stuff.
that's true.
You know,
That's
you,
true.
you need a seasoned coach in it to go up against Andy Reid. Uh Levon, I wanted to put up the NFC standings for me, please, while we talk about Cam. Because I want to ask you guys if you believe that they could, and this was definitely through week 10. So
Mhm.
I believe, yeah. So look at this now, right? So
Mhm.
these are because there are 7 teams right now, right?
17's win.
There are
Mhm.
7 teams right now. Carolina now would be in the playoffs, right? Would be in the
Mhm.
but
playoffs. And, for full disclosure, the Carolina Panthers started out 3-0, and now they are 5-5. But the Carolina Panthers have a top 10 defense, and they get Stephon Gilmore healthy, and trust me, they're looking really good on defense. So the only thing that they want a quarterback who is not going to turn over the ball. Who's
Mhm.
not going to turn
Mhm.
over the ball, who's going to do, and we saw a bit of Cam Newton last game. Obviously, that adrenaline, that crowd. He
Mhm.
came in for 2 plays in the red
I,
zone and definitely got 2 touchdowns. So by looking at this, and I'll tell you the
Schedule.
Panthers remaining game, just so that you guys could have. So the Panthers, they play Washington football team next, right? So I'm not sure how we can, we'll talk about that later. And then they play the Dolphins, and then they have a bye, and then they play the Falcons. So I'm saying, right, the Saints are not really playing good football right now because they don't have a quarterback, and also they're getting some calls going against them. So, Gary, well, let me start with Dwayne. Dwayne, do you believe that Cam Newton could get this team into the playoffs?
no, well, if not as the starting quarterback or as a gadget player like Taysom Hill.
No, because Cam Newton is starting. He will be starting on Sunday for Washington for against Washington.
Well, he could get them in the playoff because right now, you can get to the playoff with like 9-7 based on all the teams are jostling for position right now.
Uh huh.
So he could get them in the playoff, and their next 3 games look very favorable for them to go.
Mm-hmm.
run, but we know this is Carolina team is. They're very inconsistent. The main thing for Carolina, they've got to keep McCaffrey fit because he's the heart and soul of that offense. When he's out, they are awful. When he's in, they are a functioning team. So once, even more than the quarterback, because I look at the stats earlier in the season, McCaffrey was 50% of this team offense. I think
Definitely, yep,
I think that is too much load on him, and he's not built like a Derrick Henry. He's small, so
yep.
I think there his career ain't gonna be that long because of the workload that he has put. Because dual backs tend to not last that long in this league,
Mm-hmm.
and I
So
worry. I'm not to segue, but I worry about Kamara also
in New Orleans,
in New Orleans, because I
yep,
like these players. I think they should get help for these players.
yep.
But I think, have they played the box yet? I think they have the box twice at the
Uh
season.
yep. They have the Bucks twice, and they have the Saints. They have the Bucks twice. They have the Saints. They have the Bills.
Right.
So and then you have to look at those teams behind them. So you have to look at a Minnesota who was to play Detroit. Who was to play Detroit, who have to play the Chicago Bears again. So I believe Minnesota can come and overtake that spot. But I'm looking at those two spots, 6 and 7. I
Right.
think those two spots, probably even Seattle. Obviously, Seattle is not in the picture right now, but I believe Seattle can also come up and get one of those spots. I think the 6 and 7 spot is up for grabs. I think the top five, we can all agree that the top five will be the top five in whichever order. I don't think it
Yeah.
probably will necessarily be this order, but I believe in whichever order there will be a
Yeah.
top five.
They already, to me, they have already seen their spot.
Yes, yes, the
They,
top five. So I just think it's those two spots. And here's Chris Lynn saying, I need to see if Cam can throw the ball. Struggle to do it at the pass. And I totally agree with you, Chris Lynch. But
can't
if you look,
throw the ball since he came into the league. He's averaging like 59% passing completion. So it's
mhm.
you know,
Yeah, again, that and that's a very good point. And Chris Lynch, like if you look at the Carolina model, the Carolina don't really want to throw the ball. What only thing Carolina wants to do is to avoid turnovers, avoid mistakes, because they believe that they have a defense that can stop anybody. You see what you see with Washington and the Bucks last week. You're definitely not going to see that between Washington and Carolina. This Carolina defense would lock down Taylor Heineke or Heineken or whatever his name is. I think he'll definitely lock that down. So looking at this, Wally, I honestly, I'm going to pick Cam to miss. I'm going to pick Cam to definitely miss the playoffs. I don't think he's going to make the playoffs from here. I think I'm going to put the Vikings in there. I'm going to probably put the 49ers in there as well. I
Vikings,
don't think, huh?
Vikings, because what, they're in a weak division.
They're in a weak division and they have to play Detroit twice. They have to play the Bears twice. So, I mean they have to play the Packers twice too. But, you
Those are
know,
divisional games, man.
yeah, but come on now. All right, do you know some let me tell you something about the Vikings. Do you know that the Vikings is the only team in the NFL that has led every game by 7 points? The
Yes.
only team in the NFL that
Yeah,
has
but
led every single game by 7 points.
he can be brilliant this moment and awful the next. And if that's the only thing, he's a functioning quarterback, but he's too unpredictable. And we know that when the lights get bright, that's when he go into hiding.
That is true. That is definitely true. That's definitely true. And I want to put up a last visual. Levon, can because I want to talk about. I know the Rams have a bye week, but I want to talk about the Rams a little bit. Levon, can you put up the visual about the Rams for me, please? Because the last 2 weeks, a lot of persons were blaming Odell. Say, oh man, from from Odell got all right. So look at this, right? So look what we have here, right? So obviously the first 8 weeks, right? We have the Rams 7-1, 30 points per game, 22 touchdown to 5 interceptions, 11 drops. Right? Then we'll move on now to weeks 9 and 10, 0-2, 13 points per game, uh, 2 and 4, so 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So for everyone who's listening who doesn't know what an interception is when the quarterback for the team throws the ball to the other team, right, without the ball touching the floor. So and they have 5 drops. So I'm looking at the Rams and I'm looking. The 2 games that they lost were against the Titans and the 49ers. And both those teams were very physical with them. Very, very physical. And I'm thinking the Rams is becoming a very finesse team. So I just want to ask you, do you have faith in the Rams making it to the Super Bowl? Or even winning a playoff game? Because remember, one of the knock against Matthew Stafford was that people defend him. Oh, he's in Detroit, this and that. But no, we're starting to see that Matthew Stafford is probably not the first overall pick, Matthew Stafford. So do you see the Rams? Where do you see the Rams going? Let me ask you this.
I have them making it at least. I think they will recover. It's a long season. Maybe a lot of their players, their top players, they are banged up. So, after a while, I think they will come back fresher in the bye after their bye, and they will be a lot better because the thing is that they didn't play well offensively, which they have
Mm-hmm.
been doing all season, but
Mm-hmm.
their defense couldn't bail them out when they're not at their best offensively.
Yeah.
So, and they're a loaded team, and they have a lot of good players. So
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna jump off the Rams not going to the win a game in the playoffs. I think they will win a game in the playoffs. It depends on who they come up against. And
That's
as I'm not trying to segue away from the Ram, but this Ram team remind me of your Packers team like 2 years ago when they
Yep.
had a good record, but when they
Yep.
these against the 49ers who was physical,
Yep.
ram the ball
Yep.
down their throat, they couldn't deal with it. So
Yep.
they will have to find their identity because in this NFL, it's still a physical sport, No matter
Yep.
what the rules might do,
Yep.
win the game in the NFL, I believe you got to dominate in the trenches. That is on the
Yep.
offensive line and the defensive line.
Totally
Because
agree.
if you can get off the quarterback, put pressure on that quarterback, no matter who he is, he will pick you apart because these are all professionals. And if you can protect your quarterback,
Yep.
you're going to be in trouble. That's why right now the second highest paid players in the NFL are left tackles, the
Yep.
guys that protect the quarterback blind side.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And I think, to add, and I want to tell you, in the meantime, while I'm talking, you can start getting your 5 picks ready
But I mean, I
because
tell you, it has been a rough 2 weeks.
yeah. So, my thing is, I definitely need to see, more from the Rams, because if the Rams stay where they are, they'll play every single playoff game on the road, and I don't see the Rams going to, I don't see the, and remember, after that bye week, they're going up to Lambeau Field to play against Aaron Rodgers. Right,
Yeah.
so that's going to be a big game. We're going to see how they bounce back. Are they going to go 0-3? What I think Green Bay has to do, because every game that Sean McVay is coach, when they're leading at halftime, they never lose. So once Green Bay can take the lead at halftime, then I believe that is something that we can look forward to. All right, so gentle people, I know we owe you guys a lot of money because we haven't even, we have been making some picks, and the picks have been good, but the players don't show up, right? So Vincent did indeed send me his 5 picks, and his 5 picks are Packers, Bills, Titans, 49ers, Browns. So that is Vincent pick. So if you
Vincent,
guys want to,
like a TG Jakes or Mr. Dollar, very conservative.
very, very, very conservative. Um, oh, Mr. Wally, how you doing, sir? Mr. What?
Tell him, call the live, call the stream, Mr. Wally. Don't tell me that you don't have time. Come defend your Mr.
No man.
Oh,
See me up on the screen, man.
oh, Grams in
Oh,
the bill.
okay. So,
That's
Mr.
like
Wally,
the
are you
goat.
hearing me? Are you hearing me, Wally?
No, we don't know something wrong with the mic.
All right. Levon, make him sort it out. I tell him same to stop bridge the internet, but him continue, bridge the little internet and so. Mr. Wally, if you don't mind, can you just put on some shirt for us, please? You know why you come out here in your marina trying to show
Well,
off your
I know my
muscles.
females on the live. Leave the man thing. I'm kidding.
Up
Remember
and
the
running,
females
up
is
and running. Don't be like Demo. Don't be like Demo.
Dima is a hater.
All right. So I guess you wanted to come on to to talk about your boy Cam, right?
Of course.
All right, and I haven't seen Michelle comment in a while, and as you come on in your marina, here is Michelle jumping up in the comment section, acting like she's talking about the 5 picks when she's actually looking at something else. Michelle, I know Michelle. Hey, Levon, so can you,
Michelle,
Levon? I watch it. I'll Shamika to jump back up in the comment section.
yeah, man.
Hey,
Some shit, man. Them not like me again. I said, go,
hey, Levon, can you go ahead and put back up the NFC picture for me, please? Because I want to get Wally input on that. If he believes that the Carolina Panthers can definitely make the playoffs, hopefully he can give us some objective analysis, and not anything subjective.
like, that is like you talking about the Green Bay Packers.
I'm very
Objectivity.
all right. So look at this, Wally. So right now, 7 teams make it to the playoffs, right? Obviously, only one team gets a bye now. Only one team gets a bye. So right now, let's just do it. So Green Bay would get a bye. So then the Arizona Cardinals will play against obviously your team. But that's just 10 games. So there are 7 games remaining. Do you believe that Cam Newton can drive this team to the playoffs?
Well, looking at the wild card spot, I can see and who is in the hunt. Yes, I can see them, getting through as a sixth worst 7th seed. Yeah, I really think so, because the teams that are in the hunt, I really I can't see these teams really catching fire to any significant extent where it's going to put Carolina in trouble and jeopardize, because three wild card spots available. I definitely see the Panthers getting one of those.
All right. So let me ask you a question, because I know you come on specifically to talk about Cam. So I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about Cam. Right? So, we have seen Cam Newton at his very best, leading the team to a Super Bowl, leading the team to a 15-1 record, right? But we have also seen Cam in the New England Patriots system, where he didn't do as well, and we see Matt Jones in there now striving, right? We see Matt Jones striving right now, but Cam couldn't do as well in that system. So should we be optimistic that Cam can probably not be 15-1 Cam, but be good enough to be a starting quarterback in this league?
Well, certainly, especially in Carolina, it really has to do with whether or not he will start. I mean, it's not an issue of competence. Whether or not he will start really has a lot to do with the direction that the coach wants to head in. If you really looked at the game last week, you can see that the coach pretty much used him for short yardage situations. I guess a part of it was kind of to ease him in. So I'm going to be very, very interested to see how many snaps he plays come this week.
Well, he's actually starting this week.
He's actually starting.
He's been named
He's
the
actually
starter this
starting.
week.
Okay, so So it's going to be very interesting, the type of play calls that will be run by the coach, because one of the key reasons that it didn't work out in New England, one, there were just a few unfortunate situations. Cam, making that last stand, trying to stretch for the goal line, fumble. If the ball fell a little differently, they could have actually ended the season on a winning record, and things would have looked better for Cam. But outside of that, though, the play calling, there weren't really a lot of play calls that were used to maximize Cam's ability. You didn't have a lot of RPOs being run. You didn't have a lot of bootlegs being run. You didn't have a lot of quarterback draws being run. And we know these are the things that are the strengths of Cam. So it will be very interesting to see how much of these play calls the coach will incorporate to actually allow Cam to shine.
Okay. All right. Levon, you want to say something, Levon?
Yes, Mr. O. So, I see this Junior fella in the comment section saying that Levon locked me, that's why I couldn't get on. Junior, don't do that. Grow up and don't tell lie on the producer. I never did anything like that.
We're a liar, they know what the man need deliverance.
Hey, so like, let me tell you, like, we've seen Junior the link so many times, and I don't know, we send everybody the link, everybody come on except him. So I really don't know what's going on with his system. But hopefully, Junior, hopefully next week we can see a Junior. Hopefully, you can come in.
Hopefully.
Michelle, just for that, James, I'm going to mention that your favorite coach looked like him get sacked. Well, Michelle, I'm not sure if you follow me on social media, but I've been loaned to Aston Villa, so I'm no longer affiliated with Manchester United. I am on the Steven Gerrard's train. But that's a story for my 1 minute or for Monday. So we're going to talk about that. Well, I have one more question for you, Wally, as it relates to Cam Newton, right? And I saw a press conference with him, and obviously, we can't post a press conference up here because of copyright issues and so. But he was saying that he's absolutely grateful now because he said last week at that time he was on his couch watching NFL eating cereal, So I believe he's extremely humbled because he realized that, man, this can be taken from me at any point in time. I've seen Robbie Anderson say, boy, Cam bring that energy, because if you look at Sam Darnold can't get you fired up. PJ Walker can't get you fired up. I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, Cam signed a 1-year deal. You as the coach, let's say, hypothetically speaking, Cam gets him to the playoff. How long do you think Carolina should keep him there, or do you think that they should go in the draft? Because he's definitely better than Matt Jones. He's definitely better than Sam Darnold, and he's definitely better than PJ Walker. So how long do you think that they should keep Cam there?
Well, it really depends on. All right. So if they can get a good run, as I said, the play calling is very important. Cam physically, Cam is still in top shape. I think he still has at least 3 years in him at least. So if they're looking to make some noise in the playoffs now, I really think that they should try and get at an elite wide receiver for once in Cam's career. Try and give him an elite wide receiver, so he can have that additional weapon to push the offense.
Well, Wally, many persons would argue that why does he want an elite wide receiver if he can't throw the ball? Many persons would say he can't throw the ball downfield. Why should he get an elite wide receiver? Because I think DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is he's a good wide receiver. Probably not elite, but which elite wide receiver could you sell on the fact that, hey, we have Cam Newton here, we want you in Carolina? Which elite wide receiver you think you could sell that to?
No, well, the thing is that the critical thing, I mean, people keep making this argument that Cam can't throw. the season before he got injured, right? He had his highest completion percentage of his career, right? In the high 60s before he got injured. So once he has one of the big issues with Carolina is that when you talk about offensive line, they've never been top tier. So Cam has always had to be running and throwing, which is not necessarily his strength. You know, he's not well, obviously he's not Rodgers, he's not a Kyler Murray, he's not a Patrick Mahomes. Even Lamar Jackson, who they say, boy, he can't throw. We've seen on multiple occasions where he's actually able to run and throw the ball. So when Cam is scrambling and trying to throw, that is not necessarily his strength, because they always mention his the little glitches in his mechanics. So if he can get time in the pocket to throw the ball, he can make enough of those deep throws once you have a significant enough caliber wide receiver who can create the separation. You're not asking him to throw in tight windows over and over like an Aaron Rodgers. Once you have a receiver who can create that separation, then you have that additional threat of him being able to run. You have Christian McCaffrey, who is an absolute beast. They can make some noise in the playoffs.
All right. Total. All right. So we'll definitely. Hopefully you're here next week, Saturday, after his first start against Washington, so that we can definitely break it down. But
yes,
I need to make one point. I need to make one quick.
All right, give me 1 second to do it. Give me 1 second to do it.
In defense of Cam Newton, when he had his best seasons, the Titan Olsen was his number one guy. So he liked to throw to the middle of the field. So
right. That's correct.
He and Lamar, their best targets are tight ends. So they got to upgrade a tight end for Cam Newton to be effective.
All right, that's a very good point. I remember Greg Olson and Wally. Here we have Shamika saying that, Wally, I'm going for your picks this week. Kem's not going too good, right? So Wally, I'm going to give you a time, Wally, to do a little bit of research, and you come up with 5 teams this week who you believe can go ahead and get these people some money. All right. Dwayne, are you ready?
One sec.
Hold on. Let me grab the thing real quick.
All right, no problem. So let me start. I'll start.
All right, you start.
Let me start. So once again, Shamika, you can, if you want to go with these ones, you can. So Vincent said that he's going with the Packers, Bills, Titans, 49ers, and Browns. Right? That is what Vincent is going with. Vincent is being very conservative. That's why he won't make a lot of money, because he's not a risk taker. But for me, these are the teams I'm going with. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints. All right. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. I am definitely going with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm going to go with Mr. Cam Newton and go with the Carolina Panthers. So those are my 5 teams. So I have the Carolina Panthers, the San Francisco 49ers, the New Orleans Saints, the Miami Dolphins, and the Green Bay Packers. Dwayne, are you ready? Gary, are you ready? Wally, are you ready? Who is ready?
I'm ready. I'm going with the 49ers. Okay. Then I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
I'm going to go, this is my little soup of the week.
Okay.
I expect the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Saints. That is 3. Then I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans to put the Houston Texans out of their misery. And my final pick of the week is...
No, you're gone 5 already, boss.
5 am I gone?
Yeah, 49ers, Green Bay, Browns, Eagles, Titans.
All right. Make it stay there, sir. I'll give you a super 6, but let it stay.
Oh, you stay, Wally?
Yeah, man. All right. So Cowboys, Bills, Packers,
Dang.
Panthers, of course, and 49ers.
Dang.
Man going with the Cowboys. He's that confident.
The man
Yes,
going with
man.
the man going with the big money. So
No
Shamika.
winnings for Chiefs.
So
Me know,
Shamika,
me know say something like that. Why you go with that?
so Shamika, once again, Wally has Cowboys, Bills, Packers, Panthers, 49ers. Gary, go ahead.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Gary,
about
Deep
that.
freeze, deep
Gary look
freeze,
My
like
deep
a deep
freeze.
freeze. All right,
apologies
so
for the dark
Gary,
background.
you can just text me your picks then because we're about to wrap up right now. Obviously, we'll give you guys 2 minutes, to go ahead, and you cannot talk about Manchester United or the Lakers. That is not involved in the 2 minutes. So, Dwayne, go
yeah.
ahead.
Me go talk about the Reggae Boys for a change. I think they played a very good second half in that game against the USA. They were robbed of a goal, and that guy Bobby, uh, he missed a sitter. I don't know, his technique was so poor. All he had to do, he could have hit that ball in the goal, or he could have side footed. He's trying to
I'm gonna
smash
try
it
bust the net.
from from 3 yards out, man. He didn't watch Thierry Henry.
I'm gonna try
So,
bust the net, boy.
but what happened, to me, the main reason why I have a problem with Jamaica football is the dysfunctionality, man, at the top. You
Yes,
understand? They cannot
yes.
they can they cannot drive in a Honda Civics nor a Honda car. They cannot get anything together. They're all over the place, and when me always are saying, Kems, I don't like noise. It's not the only
Mm-hmm.
goes for NFL, but it goes for any sporting team.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have the talent and the teams around us, right? I think the USA, Canada, and Mexico, they are the top three teams in CONCACAF, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all the four teams. I think we have more talent than all those other teams, but they
Mm-hmm.
have a structure and they have a, what do you say, organizational that we don't have. I think we need to get our act together. I'm not really a big fan of Whitmore, but you can't. To me, if you don't have somebody who is at a certain notch above Whitmore, to get rid of Whitmore and put that person in, because I heard they talk about a guy by the name of what was his name? Rick
Ricky
Hill.
something. Ricky
Rick
Hill.
Hill. Man, when I heard Ricky Hill, I was thinking about Rock Hill in Carolina, because that's the closest thing I know about an hill. I'm like, who is this guy? They're telling me about a guy from not even the league below, like a third tier league in the US. I live in Florida and I didn't hear about that team in Tampa Bay. I don't know that team. So I'm like, man, I think they wanted to get rid of Whitmore. But when they shoot the name and saw the backlash that they got,
Yes.
when
Yo,
they
that's
realized the backlash that them got, they realized it, and everybody Whitmore, but you can't move Whitmore for that hill that nobody knows about. You got to make a splash if you're going to get rid of Whitmore. Then they try to
yeah.
put out stories like that. So I think the JFF, they're incompetent, and they're going to be one of the reasons if we don't make it, because we have the talent on the field.
Yes, and like as I said on Facebook, I don't think these things happen like no, which Jamaican does ever jump up out of the blue and mention Ricky Hill? Oh, Ricky Hill is going to be there has to be some leakage. Probably them say, we could put it out there and see what the reaction is. And when them see the backlash and them have to back and say, no, 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 no. No go
Yeah.
so. All right then, Wally, go ahead with your 2 minutes.
All right, just before I do my 2 minutes, I'm gonna ask the producer to do me a favor. What was Bora's record with the Reggae Boys, and how long was his tenure? Because to my mind, and my recollection could be wrong, I don't remember Bora being any more impressive than Whitmore, and I think he got a longer run. That is my recollection. So I would really love to have that data to see if what I recall is correct. But I I'm not seeing why they would have gone that route in terms of the coach they would have selected, unless it is a case where no one of a certain caliber is available, so they have to go to where they went. But I'd definitely be interested in that. Cam, definitely happy for Cam. You can, if you follow him, his vlogs, you can see that he's always working. He's always working, always keeping in shape. And you could see that was evident, in the touchdown run. There were a couple short yardage situations where, he was able to make the run. We just want him, focus. He's got some would say a third lease on life. Just focus. Mush would have trim, but we can't tell a man how to do him thing. But I just think if he just zero in focus and get his head in the game. But I'm really happy for him. Really hopes he continues to go from strength to strength. A lot of persons are not are waiting to see him fail. I guess because of his very flamboyant personality. If you read some of the comments, they will say, boy, him spend too much time dressing and focusing on football and all of that. So, persons are waiting for him to fail, but I just hope he keeps focus and they give him the help he needs for the offensive line as well as at the wide receiver position. Some basketball. So far Steph Curry, the runaway leader, for the MVP. Still early days, but we all know that the proof of the pudding is come playoff time, and unfortunately we kind of have a file on Curry that when the stakes are really high, he doesn't necessarily come to the party. So everything is on his shoulders now. No Klay Thompson, so I expect him to make the playoffs. So we'll see how he does come playoff time with teams really zeroing in on him as the man. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. Looking forward to how the season unfolds right now. But so far, they're the MVP. The other thing is that it's so ironic that James Harden had the comment about Giannis having no skill, but since the rule change, it seems like he's the one who needs to develop some skill as to how to score and play real basketball.
Save it, Wally. Save it for the NBA podcast tomorrow.
All right, okay, sir. Okay, so
But all right, what? I don't appreciate you talking about my JSW team nor Steph Curry. Leave us alone in peace. Let us just go on our merry way. And the question you asked about Bora. So Bora, he took over in 2006. He left in 2007 on the back of 6 successive defeats in some friendlies. So they sacked him after he got 6 defeats in some friendlies.
So Tapa get a longer run.
Far away longer.
Far away.
Okay.
By a
All right.
Anyway,
All
big
right.
up yourself by your Earth Strong producer.
Yes.
Say no more, boss, man. Blessings, man. And thanks for everyone in the comment section that has wished me. And Michelle, always gone, man. So, yeah, nice birthday present.
Hip hooray.
Hey, so check me out, right? As our producer just said, tomorrow we have our first NBA show, and I will hope that one of the women, one of the ladies want to be on the show. Just reach out to Levon and let him know what's going to be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Ladies, I know you like when Wally come up here and show muscles, but we have some really attractive, intelligent guys on the panel, tomorrow, along with Robbie Rich and others, So we have a lot of panelists tomorrow for the NFL. Everybody wants a crack at Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, all of that. What I want to talk about though, really quickly, is that I want to talk about the Lakers, right? because the Lakers. For me right now,
Rich
I
or
would
rich.
trade Anthony Davis right now. I'm not going
You
to
know,
go much into it until
say
tomorrow,
you lick head,
but
You lick
but
head.
no,
Anthony Davis. Of all the
I would
person.
Look,
I would I would trade Anthony Davis for Towns right now because Anthony
Towns,
I I I see Towns give Anthony Davis some barbecue chicken the other night and it was not fun. Anthony Davis is way too soft, but I'll save that for and I just want to go ahead and thank Ole for his time at Manchester United. This man steered the ship. This man has definitely brought the team back to some form of normality, that we were missing, and so unfortunately, um, you know, eh, unfortunately, we weren't able to carry on, but I wish him all the best in his endeavors. And I want to definitely thank you guys for coming out. Big up everybody in the comment section. Happy birthday to the producer once again. He wanted Ole out for probably since 2 years ago. So he finally get it on his birthday. What a birthday. You'll never forget this birthday ever, ever. So thank you for everybody in the comment section. Big up everybody. And you guys have a great night. And, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m.
all right, peace.